The You're Gonna Love This or Not podcast contains harsh language and may not be suitable for younger listeners.
Hello?
Hey, Matt, it's Tony. How you doing?
Oh, I've had better years.
Yeah, I understand that. I just want to get in contact with you because I'm trying to get Friday's episode together, and we don't have an episode for Friday.
Oh, yeah, we are out of stuff.
Yeah, I
There's
mean,
nothing...
we tried to work ahead, and, but the last recording we were able to do was the night pretty much everything shut down.
Yep. Well...
So I can try going through all of our outtakes and stuff and try to cobble something together, but it's going to be very disjointed, or we can pull that one out.
No.
If you want something on Friday, these are our choices.
I mean, that episode didn't get lost for technical reasons. That episode got lost because it deserved to be lost.
I understand this, but we need to have something on Friday.
So you're saying that in a world full of awfulness, disease, and death right now, we need to put out that episode? I'll tell you what, man. At least it'll be out there. It won't be tucked away in the archives.
Yeah, it's been taking up hard drive space. It's actually corrupted 2 drives so far. So I'd be happy to get it out of here. Well, man, if it's okay with you, I'm going to go ahead and run with it. We'll see what we can do with it. And I got to go get to work so I can have this out by Friday.
This is all on you.
I know. It's my name on the blog. I'm the Indiana Geeking. I'm taking full ownership of this.
All right. Well, throw the switch, I guess.
Okay. Stay safe, stay healthy, my friend. Love you.
Love you too, man. Bye.
In this month's episode of You're Gonna Love This or Not, the group is still abiding by shelter-in-place orders and continuing to socially isolate even more than they normally do. This causes the editor to go to extreme measures and pull out the lost episode, 1994's unreleased The Fantastic Four. Will this episode help fill the gap until we get the crew back together in the SFP studios? Or will it cause our listeners to vanish like all copies of this film? Let's listen to the trailer, then find out.
From the pages of the world's greatest comic book adventure, 4 heroes on a daring mission in space, but something went wrong. Genetically transformed, they become the most powerful superheroes of all time. Forces of evil are out to destroy their cosmic power. Find them! And to survive, they must utilize all their strength. To put an end to their arch nemesis.
Doom, it's clobbering time.
The Fantastic Four.
Matt, you son of a bitch.
Oh, come on.
You told me we were going to watch a Marvel movie.
It was a Marvel movie.
No. It was a marvel that movie ever got made.
That's probably true. I mean, it was made out of necessity, basically.
What? There was no need for that movie. It was absolute garbage.
There was absolutely a need for that
movie should do what Sue Storm does and disappear.
If you had never seen this movie, well, okay, if this movie had never been made, you would never have seen any of the other wonderful Fantastic Four films.
None of the Fantastic Four films are in any way, shape, or form ever described as wonderful. And yet, this one, which I didn't think was possible, is actually worse than all the other Marvel Fantastic Four movies that I've seen, which I didn't know if the standard could get any lower.
I will say this. This movie had probably 1% of the budget of
This
those other films.
movie had, I don't know. I'm literally scarred for life.
Well, for $1 million movie, which is what this is, I think the first half is okay, and the second half is definitely not.
The four of us in this room could have spent $1 million on this movie and made a better movie.
I'm not going to disagree with you, but at the same time, I kind of am. Because this movie was produced by Roger Corman, who's regarded as a prolific producer. He's made over 400 movies.
Well, when you make shitty films like this, I can see how you can make 400 movies.
Well,
if you have no care whatsoever for the quality of the video, I mean, I can go grab a camera off my phone and make a bunch of movies and be like, I'm a producer for 400 movies.
Don't think you'd get quite the penny pinching stretching that Roger Corman could do, though.
He did some stretching here. I don't know if it's penny pinching stretching, but he definitely stretched some things here, like the concept of reality, what we consider a film.
It's not terrible. I mean,
so
it's
you
terrible.
said there was $1 million budget on this film, right?
$1 million budget.
What was the budget for Clerks?
Much lower.
Like $25,000, right?
But Clerks didn't really have a crew?
Regardless,
Or
Kevin
special
Smith
effects?
made a film called Clerks for, let's say, what is that? Like 2.5% of this? And
I'm just gonna say,
and it is 1,000,000 times better.
You know, if you're going to talk about Clerks this much, we should probably have another Kevin Smith podcast.
Well, I love Kevin Smith, so
I do.
I was
as
just
well.
relating to small budget films being great.
But this film was made out of necessity. It wasn't intended to hurt you personally, Josh. In fact, it really wasn't made to be seen by anybody at all ever. This movie's kind of legendary in the production annals, I guess, for being made solely to retain the legal rights to make other Fantastic Four movies.
I think you should call the production anals because this is an anal piece of shit.
I'm not sure what I can say to that.
Yeah, you did get no response. Like, I don't know how you're ever going to defend this movie. It is a steaming pile of garbage.
It's not terrible.
It is horrible.
And also, again, we're not talking about just the movie itself, because all these movies are terrible. I mean, they're all just bad movies.
You could have taken clips from the other three movies that we've watched and mashed them together into a movie that made 0 sense. And I would have much rather watched that movie than this movie. This movie's actually going to get a lower rating from me than Cannibal the Musical, which I wasn't sure was going to be possible because that movie was pretty terrible.
I'm so disappointed right now.
This is bad. Like, this is the worst. I really had hope for tonight. I thought, we're going to watch a Marvel movie, just kind of hang out, eat some cookies, get some pizza, be really exciting. But no, you trapped me. You snuck me down here, and you're like, let's watch a Marvel movie. And then all of a sudden you're like, hey, we should record an intro for this just for the fun of it. And I was like, okay, cool, we'll just have fun. I love Marvel movies. They're great. And then this pile of garbage.
In what other movie do you have a really good origin story for Dr. Doom?
Well, let's go with the other Fantastic Four movie.
Okay,
with
if you don't have
Chris
this,
Evans.
you don't get that. What happened was that Roger Corman and Bernie Eichinger, I think I'm pronouncing that right, bought the rights to make Fantastic Four movies back in the 80s. And their option was about to run out. So they made this. Their contract said they had to make a movie. They didn't say they had to make a great movie or
This
big
is
budget
not
movie.
a movie.
But they made this, and that's what led to us getting the other Fantastic Four movies.
I would be completely okay with never having a Fantastic Four movie made by these two guys just for this film not to exist.
Well, you were never intended to see this. Marvel actually...
Then why did you show it to me?
I showed it to you because the experience of watching these films is fun, and you should enjoy it.
Oh, this is horrible.
These movies are all great movies if you count the whole sitting in front of a big screen and watching somebody's just terrible mistakes happen right in front of you.
The greatest part of this movie was the piss I took halfway through.
All right, you did ask us to pause the movie while you did
Because
that.
I feel like if I'm going to properly review this movie, I should watch the whole thing.
Okay, do you want to go back to the 2 minutes you were solidly asleep and snoring?
Again. I fell asleep in the first 10 minutes of this movie. That's how bad it was.
I really enjoy watching this movie. As far as
You
cast,
really enjoy tormenting me, let's be honest.
Okay, well, that's a big part of it, but that's the reason anybody listens to this.
To torment me?
Yeah, pretty much. They're okay with it. I'm okay with it. But as far as cast in this movie goes, not too many notables. Probably the most famous actor in this movie is George Gaines, who you would know as Henry from Punky Brewster, or Commandant Lassard from the Police Academy movies.
Which those are pretty good movies, let's be honest.
They're enjoyable to
For what
watch,
they are.
just like this.
No. You will not ruin my childhood by comparing this movie to those.
Probably the only other actor most people have ever heard of from this movie is Jay Underwood.
I love our producer always helping out.
Sorry, I wrote this down in the dark. Who played Chip in the Not Quite Human Disney Sunday TV movies.
Yeah, no one cared.
And he was in The Boy Who Could Fly, which was a movie I loved when I was a kid.
Well, then they should have taken this movie and flown it into the sun.
See, now you're just getting me.
Although it would have probably still existed because, well, the Human Torch is in it.
You're starting to sound like the Marvel exec who found out about this movie without ever even watching it, bought the rights to it, and had every single copy of the negative and prints destroyed.
And still it survived somehow.
Still it survived, and thanks to YouTube, all of you can watch it as well.
I wouldn't recommend it. Like, don't ever, unless you like have a person in your life that you really dislike, and you're like, I should invite them over for Marvel movies, and then show them this steaming pile of garbage, and be like, it's really good, and then basically tape them down to a chair, because there's no way without the top podcast that someone would willingly subject themselves to this for any length of time.
Well, you want to talk about what actually happens in the movie instead of just bitching about its production?
Okay, let's go. Let's talk about how terrible the happenings in this movie are.
Okay, well, first we have the origin story of Doctor Doom. We've got the origin story of the Fantastic Four. We have a fantastic new villain, never before seen in the Marvel Universe.
No.
You've got nothing to say, really.
It's terrible.
Okay?
The jeweler.
The jeweler. That's
yeah.
right.
Oh my goodness. His queen.
Yeah, that's right. He steals an ugly, basically geode that they call some sort of diamond.
Yeah. That's
to present to his queen.
His queen, which
is a blind artist he kidnapped.
Yeah, and also Ben Grimm's girlfriend. Well, not at the time, but
not at the time.
Yeah, so spoiler alerts all through this, just letting you know. If you ever plan on watching this movie, I wouldn't. Yeah, you just watch the movie.
I think if they've made it to episode 4, they know we don't hold back on this.
Yeah, spoiler. Well, I think that they should have to watch this movie before listening to the podcast.
You think so?
Yeah, just to see. Not really. I'm just kidding.
We should reveal it in advance.
Yeah, be like, this is the movie we're gonna be watching. Please reference it and then know how bad it is.
All right. Well, we also have the strange subplot of the origin story of the Fantastic Four, the romance between Reed Richardson and Sue Storm.
Yeah, super creepy, by the way.
Yeah,
so Reed
really
Richards
creepy.
stays at this foster home.
A boarding house.
A boarding house, sorry. And Reed Richards is probably, saying his 20s?
I'd say 25.
25?
25. He's a doctoral.
Yeah, I mean, he's a doctor, damn it.
Yeah.
And so, seven head shakes for the producer. Okay, he's in college with. Anyways, regardless of all that, and then there's Sue Storm, who's probably like what 12ish.
I would say she's probably closer to 10.
10, 12, either way. There's a
creepy.
13-year gap here.
There's a hug and a kiss on the cheek.
Yeah, and she's like, oh, he's so dreamy, and then all of a sudden it's like flash forward 10 years. And then it's like, now it's okay for them to be in this super creepy romance?
Yeah, it's one of those weird things where he'd known her since she was a little kid. And
yeah.
I don't know. It just, it's really off-putting.
It's a little weird. It gave me some definite vibes of weirdness. So, can we talk about the absolute best part of this whole movie? Has got to be it's clobbering time.
It's clobbering time. And it's twice as good as the other movies.
Yeah,
because you get it twice in this movie.
You do, and he's wearing quite possibly the cheesiest Thing costume I've ever seen in my entire life.
I don't know. I think the Thing suit in this is actually really, really good. The eyes look bizarre. One of the other reasons I really love this film is because it's referenced in other properties, most notably Arrested Development, in which comedian Maria Bamford plays an actress who was in a Fantastic Four movie where she played Sue Storm, which was only produced to keep the rights to the movie. And it's hilarious.
There's no way you can ever get me to believe this movie is good.
This movie is fun to watch. It doesn't matter if the movie's good. We acknowledge these
it's
movies
not
are
fun
terrible.
to watch. No, there's nothing fun about this experience besides the delicious cookies that Mike brought from some bakery, Boynton's Bakery. Can I say that one? Okay.
Sponsor of our show.
No, I didn't go that far, but. If they'd like to sponsor us, we'll totally eat their cookies on every one of our podcasts.
Yeah, I'm not sure I could handle that.
Yeah, if they want to give us free cookies, I'm down.
Sure.
So, all right, so explain to me redeeming qualities for this movie and why you decided to subject me to it.
Redeeming qualities of this movie, I really, really enjoyed the first half of this movie. The origin story and everything, it's low budget, but it's well thought out. The script is not the worst it could possibly be. I mean, come on. There was the Fantastic Four movie from 3 years ago. Even the director shat on it.
I never watched it.
I haven't either. I'm pretty sure 98% of America has never even given it a second thought.
Should be a viewing for us as well.
It might happen. You don't know what's on the list.
Terrible Fantastic Four movies and how they got made.
Anyhow, you want to take a guess as to what the letterboxed score on this movie is out of 5 stars.
Oh.
That's right. I caught you looking at your phone on Rotten Tomatoes. This week we're going with Letterboxd.
Well, it got 33% from Critic Score on Rotten Tomatoes and like 28% on Audience Score. So Letterboxd, let's go 3.9.
You think 3.9 out of 10? Or out
well,
of
33%, 3.9.
Sorry, it's out of 5 stars on Letterboxd.
Oh, yeah. Okay, sorry. 1.6.
1.6. Higher.
1.62.
It's higher.
2 stars.
Little bit lower.
$1, Bob. $1.
It gets 1.8 stars on Letterboxd.
1.8 stars, which is about 3.6 out of 10, so that'd be about right. 33%.
Probably,
wow.
Yeah. I will go on record as saying I really enjoy Letterboxd. It's a fun site to use. Probably would never have used it if our friend Obsessive Viewer from the Obsessive Viewer Podcast had never mentioned it.
What kind of is that a podcast?
It's a podcast.
Okay.
I am drunk.
No.
Yeah, I know. It's weird that I watch these movies and use alcohol to make my way through.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I used alcohol at night, too, and it just put me to sleep for like 2 minutes.
All right, well, this episode so far, I'm sure, is riveting to listen to.
Yeah, probably not. Actually, I think we've had some pretty good dialogue here back and forth. So, I guess I'm going to have to rate this movie now out of 10 stars and do something that I didn't think was possible, and I'm going to give it 0.5. 0.5 stars.
0.5 stars.
0.5 stars. The only redeeming quality in this is the cheesy Human Torch versus Death Racing. I mean, it was fun. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it was fun. Like, it was really cheesy and bad.
Early CG special effects.
But it was fun. I mean, I liked that part of it.
And this came out the year after Jurassic Park, the year before Toy Story. Those effects were super expensive, and this movie just did not have the money to spend on them.
No, $1 million. And I think we talked about the suit cost like $200,000 of that.
Oh, I'm sure it may have even been more than that. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm almost speechless. It's so bad.
Well, I'm going to go out here, and I'm going to give this a score out of 10. I'm going to give this a solid 5.5 stars.
How?
Because it's half good. It's just super low budget. I enjoy the origin story and everything, although on the screen it doesn't translate super well. when you're working with, 4 pieces of wreckage when it's an entire space shuttle that's supposed to have crashed into Earth.
Yeah, look how small the space shuttle got after it crashed into Earth.
It was amazing. They said it was in 100 pieces, and I wonder where the other 96 were.
I know. Oh, the amount of stock footage in here, too, and the obvious modeling they used to, make spaceships fly away to Dr. Doom's base.
Yeah, a couple of really patchy visual effects in here.
I mean, so if I'm going to give this movie any credit whatsoever, the cheesy visual effects were fun because of how cheesy they were. To me, that was the best part of the movie, was just how cheesy these visual effects were, because it's obvious it was no budget. And, I'm okay with that. If I watch a bad movie that's low budget and has cheesy effects, I'm okay with that. That's fine. But the acting in this movie was absolutely terrible. There was no good dialogue between people. They couldn't even mic Dr. Doom's mask properly where you could hear him.
Yeah.
He mumbled really bad.
Is basically the opposite of the Thing outfit in that there's no movement at all, which is great because Dr. Doom's mask is made of metal. But he sounds like he's talking through, I don't know, he's been
like a metal mask,
and
he's talking to a metal mask.
Yeah. It's awful. You can barely understand what he's saying.
Yeah, and the whole Reed Richards letting him die at the end, he could have stretched his arm down further and caught him in a place where it wasn't attached to his gauntlet, and that slips off. And then all of a sudden, the gauntlet moves by himself to kind of show you that he's not really dead. It was so cheesy. I mean,
I'm not even really sure how that works. Just because the gauntlet moved, how does that mean Dr. Doom is still alive?
Because he was controlling with his mind. His powers expanded.
Okay.
So, during the transfer, he got a little bit of the power stuff from which he should have had in the first place, because he had the powers from the beginning when he gets zapped by the whatever Colossus Ray, whatever it is. So, they never really showed his powers where he can, shoot lightning out of his hands and stuff. He just was bulletproof because of all the metal or something. It was so bad. And I'm pretty sure that they used the same costume and just kind of put it on 5 different people to make his henchmen as well.
Yeah, I think you never see more than 4 of those guys on the screen at the same
time. At one point, our editor pointed out 5 at the same time. So
there were 5.
There were 5.
All right.
Which one of them is probably the guy who played Victor Van Doom / Dr. Doom, which was listed twice in the credits as 2 separate people,
with
but the same actor.
Yeah.
Yeah, so because there was a big difference there. You didn't know that Victor Doom was also Dr. Doom. Spoiler alert. And yeah, it was. Yeah, the creepy pedophilia, the bad effects, the terrible costuming, the horrible acting, the shitty script. I mean, overall, just not directed well. It's just bad. I'm kind of trying to 0.5 stars. That's it. That's all I can give it.
Okay. Well, we'll stick with that. I promise you, we're going to find something that you really like and aren't expecting to.
I don't think so.
All right. Well, we'll see you next time.
And as always, Matt, you're a son of a bitch.
Love you, Josh.
This episode of You're Gonna Love This or Not was recorded at the SFP Studios located off beautiful Eagle Creek Reservoir in Indianapolis, Indiana. It features Matt dragging Josh down into the dark depths of his movie collection and is released monthly on the Team Geeking family of podcasts. It is produced by Mike Wycliffe, edited by Liz Shunn and Tony Troxel, and features music by Scott Holmes, who can be found on the Free Music Archive. Make sure you subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, or the podcatcher of your choice. And please leave us a rating and review. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.